Jennifer from Scrapping Under the Influence. I am going to do an updated craft room tour because I've spent about the last month purging and reorganizing, and this is about as clean as it's been in probably 2 years, so let's get into it. Okay, so when we come in here, and I know this was not here last time I did this, so this shelf right here is one that my husband actually custom made for our son's room when he was really, really little. And it was based on one that Pottery Barn had in their catalog at the time. And I was absolutely in love with it. And it was ungodly expensive. And he took one look at it and he goes, I can build that. And he did a fabulous job. And Nick has definitely outgrown it as far as using it as a bookcase. So it made its way in here. And it's perfect to be able to put some of my albums out that maybe I don't need them out like on display like you're going to see in a minute, but they're still out. Little fall banner I made that I still didn't change out even though it's March. I need to find my spring one. I'm not quite sure where it is. This has nothing to do with crafting, but this is my Lego castle. Disney castle. I've wanted it for years. My husband got it for me for Christmas in 2020. And it lives in here so that I see it every day when I'm in here crafting. So, up here we've got some of my absolute favorite albums of all time. So, of course, my Doodlebug on the Farm album, the little barn album there, still probably one of my favorite projects ever. Doodlebug Christmas, why can't I think of the name of that? Night Before Christmas paper line that I did the little house with there. I do have some of my Funko Pops in here and my husband's little note when he hung my shelf there, which of course if you're a Princess Bride fan, which I absolutely am, you know what that is. And then of course my baseball album because I love that. And then that Winnie the Pooh Lego set is one that I got for our 20th anniversary in September. So moving on down here, down in these cubbies, and I'm not going to pull these out because it's stuff that I really probably should get rid of. That is all vinyl and heat transfer vinyl. So like normal vinyl and then the heat transfer stuff. And then there's like one bin that's got some 6x6 paper pads in it that really need to live somewhere else because I never use them literally. But they're still there until I decide I need the space for something else. So in here, I have some different trims. There's a whole bunch of October Afternoon ones in here. Graphic 45, this is an old Cosmo Cricut one that I need some of the ribbon off of that to put back on an old project. And then I've got buttons and just other random ephemera and stickers and, you know, ribbons and things in this top drawer. Yeah, so buttons. So many buttons. I kept finding buttons everywhere when I was cleaning. So we've got our refills on our art glitter. So as you can probably tell at this point, most of my craft room is IKEA. The big shelves up here are IKEA, and those are all, everything up there is old 3D projects from mostly from SVG cuts. I think there's 1 or 2 Dreaming Tree up there. Actually, maybe not. Maybe they're all SVG cuts. A few of my albums tucked in here and there. But yeah, so that's where a lot of my albums live. But these metal cabinets I absolutely love. So we're going to take a look in here. So in here I have my Spectrum Noir markers, which are definitely not my favorite, and they're about to go find a new home. I just haven't gotten around to pulling those out just yet and figuring out what I'm going to do with them. In here I have album blanks, so like a couple of the Graphic 45 Traveler's Notebooks. I've got some a Graphic 45 tag album in there. I've got some Frank Garcia pre-made albums. I've got a whole bunch of like brads and things and eyelets from Close to My Heart. The cases for my crocodiles, and then just some other like notebooks and stuff, and then my little tiny drill and my measuring tape for some reason are in there. And I went through a while back and I put just little notes on here just so I know what's in here, and it's actually helped a lot. So this is tea lights and some other little alterable things, and then my big the really thick embossing powder, and I can't remember what it's called. I think it has a specific name. It may not. I might be totally wrong on that. Okay, so in this one, and I really should swap this around, but it's okay. This is all envelopes and card bases, and then cards that are made and ready to go, that when I need one, I can just come in here and dig through and pick out cards. So like this was one I did over the weekend here. Yeah, just lots and lots of cards. And then down here are colored pencils, some glitters, actually some more cards in that little container there. My Spectrum Noir tricolor pencil markers, which I actually love those, but they're down there for now. So this is my new Cricut light, and it has really helped when I'm recording that I'm not having shadows like I had. Glare is still an issue because glare is always an issue, but it has helped immensely. In here, I don't know that I showed in here last time. So this is my closet. My closet is huge, and probably, I think when I was going through the biggest part of my purging, I think it took me like a week to go through all of the miscellaneous stuff in here. Truly, I should call it what it is, which was a whole lot of crap that I didn't need. This whole shelf actually is pretty much empty. The containers that are sitting on it are empty, so that's always good. I've got, so if you get back up in here, all of these iris cases and whatnot, those are all albums I've made that I don't quite know what to do with, that I can't quite make myself part with them. I really should like start an Etsy store and start selling them, but I can't quite make myself do that. And then there's some more back there. And then I think there's some more in here. And then this is all just other alterable items that I'm not quite sure what to do with, but they're still here. Storage that is not being used right now is kind of all right in this general area. I've got tote bags coming out my ears back in there. And then down here is album bases that started out as prototypes that I ended up making a change to before a tutorial. And then a bunch of Dollar Tree things are in there and in that one. Up here, I've got all of my Tim Holtz and my Graphic 45 embellishments in those 3 cases. I've got Halloween and some other miscellaneous ones in there. Just other, miscellaneous things in here like embroidery hoops, the little fairy lights from Country Craft Creations. Those are my Cricut Easy Presses. And yes, I have all of the sizes. And yes, I do actually use all of the sizes, which is honestly kind of scary if you think about it, but there you go. Up here, honestly, I'm not sure what those were. I don't remember if those were completed page kits or if that's stuff from other, like, what you want to call it? don't remember what that is. Just extra storage things. I used to have all my distress inks in the tins there, and they now have a new home, which is fabulous, and I'll show you that in a second. Things that, again, just empty that I can use for organization if I need to. My stencil binders for my Christmas stencils, because they needed to like live somewhere else for now. I was running out of space. So I just kind of put them there for now, which was probably a bad idea, that I kind of just stuck them somewhere, but that's okay. Again, more empty things that I can use for organizing, or when I take stuff to retreats and crops and that kind of thing. My charger for my batteries, for my glue gun. And then again, I've just got empty stuff, and then stuff that I literally am never going to get into. So this is my travel bag. Stuff that I don't need to get into necessarily, because I do have actual scrapbook albums, 12 by 12, and there are completed pages in there that will never see the light of day because I'm not good at 12 by 12. So when we come out of the closet, we've got the rest of my room, of course. So this is where I record my tutorials. This is the stuff I'm getting ready to work with here in just a little bit. I've got my big dolly cutter. I did move it closer to me so that I can kind of, you know, use it more than I do, because I end up stacking stuff on top of it when it's off to the side there, and that's not good. So in here I have, I'm sure, just some sentiments and things that I got from Maker Forte, and then some projects and things that I need to finish. So I've got an absolutely adorable junk journal kit there, card kit, the little Simple Stories card kits, because I love those. And then 2020's December Daily from Country Craft Creations, or no, not 2020, 2021. Sorry, I cannot talk. It's still not done, because of course it's not. So back over here, these two drawer units are all Doodlebug, because as you all know, I'm a little bit obsessed. I keep all of it. I keep scraps from Doodlebug that I wouldn't keep from any other paper company, to be perfectly honest with you. This is my Doodle Pop drawer because it needs a better organization, but I don't know. I mean, come on, how could you not love that? Haven't come up with something yet. But I've got shape sprinkles and enamel dots, and their jewels and all kinds of things in there. That is washi tape, which I don't know why. I think these are kits that are partially used. Oh, no, they're not. I take that back. This is their Fun at the Park. So, yeah, I kind of went overboard with that because it was Disney, and, you know, that's how I am. 6x6 pads, petite prints. Literally, this is all petite prints, sorted by size, or sorted by color. Odds and ends, more odds and ends, more Doodlebug embellishments, and it just kind of goes on like that. So there's that. I have this little tray from We Are Memory Keepers that has the little thing that sits on top of it for like all their punch boards and stuff, because I do use the envelope one and I do use the tag one quite a bit. I have the explosion board one. I still have not gotten around to trying that yet. All right, so on this side, these are albums and projects and things that I kind of have on display a little bit more, where I will see them more regularly. Some of my absolute favorites here, so like my Disney box that has the album that goes inside of it. This little Disney project that I just did here at a retreat a couple weekends ago. My big Simple Vintage Weathered Garden book that I just did the tutorial on. This cute one with the Country Craft Creations book lover is one from the retreat that Kim taught that I love. And then, you know, just some other projects of mine. Cute little fairy house that Anne-Marie, who is also on the design team at Country Craft Creations, that she made for me. One of my little Cricut guys right there. And then my shelves. So These are those same We Are Memory Keepers trays, and these are papers that have plans that I've not had time to actually work with yet. So, and I know that happens to all of us, and eventually, like I've got, whoops, the Tula and Norbert's, I can't say that, Magical Vacation from Photo Play that is just adorable. I've got Let It Snow from Echo Park that has literally been sitting in the to be played with pile for like 2 years now. Cute Halloween. All of these are, I believe, Cardabella and Echo Park over here. Oh, I guess there's another Photo Play that was one my son actually picked out. This is all of my Graphic 45. And then this is all the Simple Stories, Simple Vintage lines right there, because I kind of hoard those. I can't help it. So this is the Totally Tiffany, I don't remember the actual name of it, but it's basically like for dies. So you can slide these out, and they've got these little magnetic strips on them, and your dies can just sit on there. You can pull the whole drawer out, take it to your desk. I like it. I think I need to move it somewhere where it's a little bit easier to get to, but I haven't quite decided that yet. So some American Crafts cardstock that I hang on to for my son to play with, and when I need to mess around with something I'm not sure is going to work. My Cricut Bright Pad lives over here because I don't use it super often, but I keep it because it comes in handy. Got a whole bunch of ribbons and things down in that box there. This is some craft text that I got from Country Craft Creations. I've not had a chance to play with it yet, and that's extra adhesive back in there, and new Cricut mats. And then all of my scraps from my artisan cardstock are in there and kind of organized. And down here is all of my foiling that, the laminator foiling, so like the mink type stuff. And my foils are all in this top one, and then in the bottom I've got, excuse me, a bunch of these little foil ephemera from Maker Forte. So this is a new set that I just barely got here a couple days ago. And they have the positive pieces that you see there in front, and then those black ones behind are negative pieces, so you can use your foil on both of them and you don't end up wasting a whole bunch of foil, which is really cool. Okay, so this is Gus's chair. He is my little furry supervisor. We love him, but he's mad that I've moved his chair over here because this is not where he wants to sit. He wants to be right next to me. He'll live. Excuse me. So this is more Doodlebug. I know I have a problem. Actually, this is Doodlebug. This, I think, is Echo Park. Yeah, those are like the stripes and the dot patterns from Echo Park. And then just other random paper. So IKEA just this year started, or well, the inserts like this have been available in Canada for a while, but they just came to the US like late last year. And I finally got my hands on some of them, which is what caused the giant purge, but that's okay. So down here are my embossing folders, which now that I have, and my laminator, now that I have the new Big Shot switch, I actually might end up using them because I'm not going to have to fight with my Gemini to use them. So those bins, I'm sorry, I chaperoned a field trip today. I have no voice left. Those are kits. So either from retreats that I've taught at or the Craftology box that I just have not gotten around to doing yet. So they're just kind of out of sight, out of mind. Those are my new bins of shame. I used to have the drawer of shame. Now I have bins of shame, which is almost worse. So little cart here. I have all of my Cricut markers down there because when I need them, I can just, you know, roll this over by my desk. On the bottom is where my little Cricut Joy lives. And then my tray cart over here, which I really wanted to love, but it doesn't slide under my desk, so it kind of annoyed me. These are all, again, projects that, kits that I have from either virtual retreats or whatever that I need to finish. cute little organizer that I got on clearance at Michael's. So I think I paid like $10 for it instead of $70, which was awesome. So I've got a lot of my cardstock I use for cards in there. So I've got like a bunch of different Maker Forte cardstock. I've got some vellum and stuff up here. This glitter from Maker Forte is amazing. So, okay, no, we're gonna come back to that. We're gonna come this way first. So over here, I've got my paper racks, and I'm not loving where they sit, but I don't really have floor space. They're just barely too tall to slide underneath my desk. So I don't know how much longer they're gonna live there, but really they kind of annoy me every time I'm trying to put stuff away. There is my new Sizzix Big Shot switch. I love it. I used it a bunch this weekend. Over here I've got dies. So like my little Maker Forte dies, whoop, just came out that work with their sayings, which let me actually have one here somewhere. Okay, so they're designed to work with these. So these are their foilable simple sayings. So these dies right here work with these two sheets. And then I've got another set that will cut the little banners, and then we'll cut these all into little strips. You can foil them, you can leave them alone. Either way, they're awesome. I've also got like my other just kind of general dies in here, and then my heartfelt dies are also in here. And then there's my plates. More inks. So I've got the Simon Says stamp, what is it? Positively Saturated ink. And I got those at Christmas, and I really like them. I actually finally used them this weekend, and I really quite liked them. And then of course my Maker Forte inks, which I cannot even tell you how much I love these, because they're just very vibrant. You know, they're not as muted as like the oxides and the distress inks and that kind of thing. They're very, very vibrant, and I love them. So I've got some archival ink here. I've got Simon Hurley stamping foam, Doodlebug chunky twine, which I love and I use a lot of. I've got buttons and things up here, and then tape and magnets and foam squares and whatnot, where I can easily grab them, which I really am going to kind of rearrange this as well. I just haven't gotten there yet. So my little vacuum to pick up stuff off my desk. These are all of my stencils. These 4 binders are Maker Forte stencils because they're fabulous. And the newer ones, I just have to show you this because this is so cool. And I had done like a summer card camp with them, and I said something about putting my stencils in these binders in the sleeves like this, and they thought that was very cool. So Alex started to do her stencils bigger and punched so that they can store on the rings in here. They have the name etched on them. It's awesome. And they're etched too, so that, let's see if we can see that, you can line up your card panel perfectly. They're amazing. I love them. Cannot tell you enough. Different little tools and things that I use regularly are over in here. Got my gems, my scissors, and my rulers, and my spacers, my corner punches. And then up here, I've got a cute little squirrel that Sally made, and I've got my Doodlebug pins, and then some of my Doodlebug shadow box kits are all up along here, which I know that one totally doesn't fit in with the rest of them, but I love it and it's staying. Actually, it may move because I've got a fairy one that I need to do. So other pens, these are Cricut Graphic 45 Fancy Pants, just some other ones. And then again, like I was saying, up here I've got all of my 3D projects. I've got one of my mini albums before I learned how to build the whole thing from scratch, but I love that one. Couple of my shaped ones, a Doodlebug one there in the back, and then this one was actually with photo play paper and files out of Design Space. Graphic 45 album in a box. this, and I'm not going to climb up all the way up here and get this, but this is an altered box I did with Graphic 45 Halloween in Wonderland paper, and it's still my absolute favorite Graphic 45 paper of all time. And then just other little 3D projects. Shaped album I did for Country Craft Creations. There's the baby album I did. Random paper up there that I don't know what else to do with it. Some pictures, my Cricut Expert sash that I won at a Cricut event a few years ago during a Q&A session. I'm tempted to wear it to every retreat I go to, I'm just saying. My little spinny thing here. So again, this is stuff that I do use fairly regularly. Embellishments, inks, different little tools and things. And then got one of my squirrel pictures there. And there's my other squirrels over there. Because I loved those guys. All right. So then when we get over here, so there's of course my Cricut Maker, which I love. I need to update a couple of my labels on my drawers. So this is an Alex drawer unit from IKEA. This top one has my score tape sheets and a couple other rulers in here, my replacement blades for my trimmer, and my magnets. My chipboard and my chipboard scraps all live in that drawer. It says punches, and I mean, it kind of is, like my circle punches are in here, but like my heat tool's in here, my big stencil mat is in here, which those are awesome. And then the tools I use all the time are in this one, and I really just need to like rearrange. Why is that drawer not shutting? There must be something stuck back there. Yeah, because these are the ones I get into all the time. So I've got both of my trimmers, I've got my scoreboard, I've got my little guillotine trimmer, and then my Misty right there. This one, it says shaker fill. It's all adhesive. So foam tape and foam squares and the big sticky dot sheets, which are great for doing shakers. And then the bottom is my ink stands live down here. And this is just overflow for other foam tape. Okay, so over here, I'm not going to go through all these drawers over here, but this is where my card bases, my cardstock to stamp and ink blend on, my acetate, my lightweight chipboard, and then I've got a bunch of like blending tools and stuff over there. All of my artisan, excuse me, has its own homes because I'm like weird like that. So, oh, and there's literally the best glue gun ever right there. Not even joking. So all of my artisan, and this drawer is from Michael's. So my white and my craft are in there. Pearl Artisan and the ivory, the green and the gray and the burgundy and the other gray. And then the 100-pound white, which is really good for card bases if you haven't tried it yet. Some more artisan down there. And then the colors that I use like constantly are over here. So the brown, the natural linen, the red, the olive, which is probably my new favorite, and the black. And then this is all like Cricut branded material. So like their glitter paper is fabulous. It does not shed, and I don't know if they're making it anymore, which really makes me sad because I wish they would focus more on the paper crafters instead of just vinyl, because I loathe vinyl. I really don't know why I even have any more because I hate it, but there we go. So felt, Cricut craft board, their acetate, which was amazing. They had some really neat like patterned acetate somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. It's in there somewhere. So Cricut stuff there. Back underneath here, this is the rest of my foiling stuff. So I've got the Gemini hot foil stamp system, and then I actually have the Spellbinders Glimmer system, and I like the Glimmer one way better. It works way better. So there's that. All right, so I've saved the best for last. So this is my toolbox. Literally toolbox from Home Depot. This particular model, and then there's like, I think 2 others in different sizes that you can special order in other colors other than red and black. So my husband, I had been on a virtual craft day thing with Maker Forte, and Alex had showed her Toolbox that she had just gotten from Home Depot. And hers is like the massive one that would, if it was down here, would literally go from there clear over to the edge of this table. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that is the coolest idea. And so I looked and I was like, oh, look, you can order this one in white. Well, about that point, we had a break for lunch. So I went upstairs and I mentioned in passing to my husband, I'm like, oh, you know, this is what Alex had just done. It was very cool. You know, that would be awesome downstairs. And he, apparently as I was walking back down the stairs, ordered it for me. So he's amazing. I love him. I don't know what I'd do without him. Okay, Brother Scan and Cut lives up here now because literally I just use it for stamps. This is my little diamond press marquee machine for just quick things that I need to die cut. This is all design team stuff that I haven't gotten to yet. This is stuff for a card workshop I'm doing next weekend. And then just other stuff that just needs put away. So I've got some hero art kits. I've got some stuff that I'm using with the design team project stuff. But let's get into this. So it's got these two huge bottom drawers. This one is stamps, overflow of my stamps. My stamps are actually on those two carts underneath the table there. And then other dies. So these are the rest of my dies that are not in that Totally Tiffany thing, which I really need to really move some of them over there because that would be really good. So this drawer is just different jewels and pearls and that kind of thing. I have a whole bunch of these Queen and Company ones just because they're just really cool. These little domes. I don't know. I love them. Got a bunch of those. This is other inks. So my mini distress inks, all of my little Hero Arts inks, the Versamark and the Stays On and that kind of thing. So these are just makeup brushes from the dollar store. And when I'm messing around with something where I don't want to use my good ink brushes, that's what I use and it works fine. Just some other small inks and blending foams. And then this is the first of two such drawers of pastes and glitters and other things mixed media related. You'd think from the looks of this I do tons of it. I don't. A lot of these in this drawer get used with stencils. Some of this does get used with stencils. Like here's the Glitter Kiss that just started coming in at Country Craft Creations. There's one I haven't opened yet. And these are amazing. I actually demonstrated one of those through a stencil about a month ago, and they're just fabulous. A lot of the other icing pastes and things from Prima that are sold at Country Craft Creations. I do have some of the Simon Hurley Lunar paste that I finally played with some of that last weekend, and it's awesome. I love it. But yeah, I've got a whole bunch of Glitz gel and then Tailored Expressions version of it. And then I've got a bunch of the Stickles gel that I got from Country Craft Creations. So yeah, there's a bunch of that. Over here, this is my shaker drawer. This is probably my second favorite drawer in this because now I can see all of the stuff that I have for shakers and I can pull the drawer all the way out and see what I have. So most of this stuff is Michael's. The little ones in the center are Queen and Company. All of this is Queen and Company. Those are Queen and Company. And these are all the sparklets and shimmers and whatnot from Country Craft Creations. And then I've got a bunch of them from Maker Forte that I don't think they're carrying anymore, but which is too bad because they were really cute. So I've got all of those. And then this, and this drawer needs really organized. Embossing powders on this side, glitters on this side, which again, you'd think I use tons of glitter. No, I just like to collect it. So yeah, a whole bunch of it. That's embossing powder too, but that one I do use actually quite a bit. Okay, so now my favorite drawer, just because it's so pretty. Look at that. Is that not the prettiest thing you've ever seen? Okay, so all of my oxides in rainbow order, all of their blending brushes. Here's a chart. All of their blending brushes, because I'm really funny about mixing my blending brushes, especially with the oxides. I don't know why. bothers me. So they all have their own brush and it's labeled because I'm weird like that. So there you go. So much fun. All right. Okay, so I think that's it. Not too long. Did pretty good this time. I think I did better with it not being too shaky. Fingers crossed when I go to edit it, I don't have to come down and redo this whole thing because it wouldn't be the first time I've had to do that. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you guys have any questions, you want to know where I found something, by all means, just leave me a comment. I'll let you know. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.